Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, everybody else, for the people watching on YouTube. What I mentioned before is, if we look at the draft adaptations, now the Hecarim comes in, something that we complained about the previous game. Lilia, just ignore Lilia. I think Thresh, I'm not a fan of Thresh in the current meta. I just think Nautilus and Leona are much easier to pull off. Europe loves Thresh. I don't like Thresh so much. Thresh feels like Lee Sin jungle. Thresh feels like Lee Sin jungle. Healy doesn't play any Enchanter support. This is not the time for Enchanter support. Maybe the reasoning is that they just don't think that Leona Jhin is good, which is fine. Which is fine. Like, Thresh is not terrible. I'm not a fan. I just feel like it's harder to win games with Thresh than it is to win a game with Nautilus. Let's just finish up the draft. So no Leona, that's okay. Leona Jhin, maybe they don't like it, or they want to keep a bot lane less explosive. Orianna blind pick, it was successful, won 2 games straight, so why not? And then Azir. So, draft-wise, conclusion, I think game plan for G2, play through mid. Everything else doesn't matter. Everything here is just designed to help Azir. Everything for Azir. Everything for Azir. Help Azir. Help Azir. And also, we mentioned in the first review, or second, when Shen was locked in and there was no Hecarim and they had a Lilia, they needed to pick a champion that delivered the set. But there's a lot of champions that are good into Orianna that are not Akali. So they go R5 Ornn. I don't think it's terrible. I think the matchup against GP is okay. In this game, when the enemy has Azir and GP, already chances are that it's going to be a long game. I don't think it's terrible. I really don't think it's terrible. I think Ornn is completely reasonable here. The other options are Lucian. You can go Lucian or something like this, but you would rather have a top laner that just plays for your jungler. Because whenever Hecarim's in the game or Evelyn's in the game just becomes about your jungler. And I think Ornn matches up well with Hecarim. That's why we see Ornn so often in the LPL. Ornn Graves. Ornn Graves. This is something that Graves loves. He can go up top, pick up free money, because, Ornn 6 is almost free money in a lot of cases. I think this is a strong draft. Hecarim definitely has freedom to do a lot, but the only worry is, of course, the impact. The reason I don't like Thresh, or I like Thresh less, is that in my mind, a lot of the 3v3 fights that happen in mid, Nautilus just tends to be a little bit better. It's neat to play Thresh when you have a clear CC spell that allows you to chain your spells together. But in the case of this 3v3, Set and Nautilus Azir versus these three, I think this is just heavily favored. Why is Camille perma-banned? Because they consider it as the best blind pick for Wunder. They consider it the best blind pick for Wunder. That's why. Yeah, Ornn is good here because you know the game is going to go long. Like looking at the enemy side, the game is going to go for a very long time. The early game is going to be slow. It is going to be very, very filled with air. I think this is a completely playable game, and that's why I like Thresh less. You know, that's why I like Thresh less. Sure, Thresh Lantern is going to be helpful to get away from some specific ults, and there are definitely ways to make Thresh useful. I just think in most cases it's harder to reach that level of usefulness in comparison to Nautilus and Leona. But there are definitely cases where it happens. How about pick Bard instead of Thresh? That could be fine too. I'm a big fan of Bard. I think Bard is a game changer. Bard is definitely a game changer. So draft-wise, I think it's, you know, there's definitely options for both sides. I think GP ult will make it difficult for Hecarim's swing timer there where he has Hecarim ult on. I think it will be a bit difficult for Fnatic to be proactive besides potentially in top side. That's the only worry here. I think the 3v3 mid is going to be super powerful and it fits with G2's way of how they want to play. Leona is just so naturally unkillable, it's a bit stupid. What do you think of Vlad as a counterpick to Ornn? I think Ornn can win, but it's a fine matchup for Vlad. What happened to my tunes? Boom, 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 boom. My tunes just went away. How come the meta is dominated by tank suppos the last 2 years even after repeated nerfs? Because it comes down to early game fights. Like first clear into you getting prio, into pressuring into mid, into first Drake, into first Herald. The state of fighting is constant. And it turns out LPL was right all along about the meta. I could definitely imagine a world where a team or multiple teams decide, okay, we give up Rift Herald, we give up first Drake, what is going to happen? We see picks like Lux and Morgana more often. Yes. When Caitlyn is in the game, that changes the whole support meta. Because Caitlyn Leona is not a thing. Caitlyn Nautilus is also kind of... You know? So when Caitlyn is in the game, Ashe is in the game, it definitely changes the meta. But when they're banned, we're back on step one. So yeah, these short trades, you know, here, Burning Ignite trading for Exhaust, very happy for G2. Senna is very happy to take short trades and to, you know, stay calm. Mickey has W here, so no Q. No Q. Yanko's wasting a fair bit of time here, but we had the start, of course, where they invaded the red, but I didn't really comment on it. But invading onto Hecarim is very neat. You need thumbnails for this? Yes, please, Ivo Jacobov. Yes, please. All 5 games if you can, brother. We back in business, baby. Why W start if you have Jankos coming? I think it was spontaneous because Fnatic's bot lane gave up the bottom prio and then they could freeze and then they just went for it. And Fnatic bot lane just decided to base off of this because they couldn't walk up on the wave anyway and the freeze was broken. Why LPL ban Quinn so often like in finals? They ban it when Renekton is picked. It is considered a Renekton counter. So GP is in an amazing state. Like, this is too good to be true for GP here, honestly. I think to note here, I think it is natural to kill your buffs first, but I think in this position, when you are set, or when you are Jarvan, or you are Lee Sin, when you're a jungler that doesn't have insane clear speed, I think leaving buffs for later is better. Here Jankos has a bit of a dilemma because Hecarim, when he talks about you know, the situation where I lost my train. I'm just gonna start over. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. This happens when you talk too much. Self-made on the second clear is going to be ahead of Jankos because all of his camps are gonna respawn. So ideally what you want to do to catch up with Set is just not attack not kill buffs. Just clear your camps. Your buffs, doesn't matter. You can clear them later. They're not gonna level up, they're not gonna be stronger. It's okay. It's okay. No problem at all. Just here he spends time taking red and then crab, and now if you are Set, you're a little bit sad because your golems are alive, your wolves are alive, your gromp is alive, and now Hecarim is walking out and is going to do the second clear. In most cases, yes, swapping for Herald is not a good thing. If you have an even state on bottom, it's not a good thing. But if the enemy champion is like Senna, her push is quite weak. She doesn't hit towers hard enough. That could be a reason. If the enemy is freezing bot, we saw that in game number 1. That was a very, very nice swap because the enemy team was freezing bot. Wonder Wave state is very beautiful here. Very beautiful. I don't know how we got here, but this is the dream here. Whippo is in the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes. Caps is 10 CS ahead with lethal tempo. That is nuts. That is really, really crazy. Why is Selfmade not doing direct there? I don't know if he can. Caps is perma prio mid, hard winning with lethal tempo, which is shocking, and I think Azir is favored, but not disfavored. And now, ooh, this is painful for Orianna. Painful, painful, painful. Very painful. It's not worth it. So I mentioned why Ornn is so good with Hecarim. It's because it's free cash. It's free cash. Free cash. Free cash. Apparently he survived here. But this is easy to set up. You know, easy to set up. And with Nemesis TP into bottom side, that means that Azir had full tempo onto mid, and Orianna took the bad path, and it means Jankos can solo this Drake. The reason I prioritize reviewing Europe is because I'm going to be on... I don't know if I can say. Whatever. That's all the information you get. You didn't hear it from me. And there we go. Selfmade cashing in the flash he burnt earlier. And now, as you can see, because Jankos didn't clear any of his camps, spent time doing jungle, the Drake. Selfmade, even though he lost his red buff, is high level. He's approaching level 7, and Selfmade is in very, very good condition. That's why some junglers invading and taking enemy red, you burn a lot of your own time, because you're not going to clear your own jungle camps. Like, we don't know if, I'm not too sure if this was the first rotation of camps for Jankos on top side. Just now, Selfmade is so fucking strong, but he has no ult. This here, wow, this move is a thing of beauty. I love this move. This move here, now this is big brain, very big brain. So, as a mid lane and as a player in general, you have to look at like some unique pieces of information, and then you need to make judgments based off of that. Here, Azir hover into top side. So Orianna hover into bot side, naturally. Vision in river, naturally. Right? This piece of information means, okay, I'm safe. Azir is into top side, I need to hover into bottom side. So Azir fakes it. Azir fakes it, and what happens? Perfect play around the vision. Look at G2's play around vision here. Very nice. And where is he going? Where is he going? Very nice. Yeah, of course, bottom position is in a position where you know, needs to win the bottom side. Orianna death leads into this. And once again, this is what Senna's for. Senna's dog champ. You're like, ah, you're behind CS, fuck you, man. You don't care. We honestly don't give a fuck. That's what they're saying. So one play into another, they sacrifice Senna's side and they recover with Azir. No, it's not that it's free. Like, Senna can still contest lane. Like, if you pick a weak lane into Senna, it becomes even harder. It's more about the fact, what's it called? The point is, if Senna is behind, it doesn't matter for the game. It doesn't matter for the game. If Senna is 50 CS to 100 and she has some souls, all good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Selfmade, what are you doing? Wow, Mickey. Mickey. Whippo. What's happening here? Whippo's like, hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. He's just going down the river here. Rolling. Rolling. Rolling river. Okay. Well, it's a fucking wild game. Such a sad timing too. It's the Drake timer. But to be honest, I don't think they could fight. I don't think they could fight. No core finished on anyone, and Azir is too strong, maybe. Cry me a river. Whipper boxing. Whipper boxing. Wunda. Do you win this, Wunda? I don't know if you win this. You probably win this. You're Trinity Force. Trinity Fork. So yeah, now condition of game looks very, very G2 sided. Gangplank is very strong. This is going to continuously grow. Senna's behind, but who cares? Azir is in good condition as well. He's going to get some platings bottom 2, trading for Orianna, which he's happy with too. Trolling. I've seen the games, guys. I've seen the games. Yeah, it's like goal-wise, Fnatic are keeping up because of the jungle situation with Hecarim and also with the trades they did for Senna. But the goal that we are seeing is not really also, it's not calculating the power of Senna. So this is very huge too, self-made going. I think this was a bit too desperate. Because as you can see, like, Fnatic are so disjointed. Like, they're committing all the way for this, right? They're committing all the way for this. And sometimes you need a bit of risk in your life. But we have Thresh also trapping Gangplank at the same time. And Ornn is going into topside. So in a world where Ornn is here, right? And he's in fog. Like, let's say Ornn is here right now, right? This would be his position now, right? Similar. He Ornn horns. This play could be a lot better, right? So this was terrible. This was terrible. I think here, if Mickey... Actually, Mickey doesn't have range. Mickey doesn't have... Actually, Mickey, why don't he exhaust? What's he doing? He needs to exhaust and he burns the flash. And such a huge swing again. This is the story of this series where Fnatic many times force situations that don't need to be forced and the game looks far more lost than it needs to be. This will be uploaded on my YouTube channel, yes. So we have the Thresh chilling in the top bush and then they're committing onto this and Ornn is nowhere to be found too. It's just unnecessary. And now with the mid tower broken, wow, you get replay after replay into disasters. Now with the mid tower broken, it changes the dynamic of the whole game because Jhin and Orianna really need their mid tower. Boom. Let's just... I'm looking this and... You think Selfmade was right to play Conqueror? I personally like Phase Rush more. But... I have to admit that that information comes from watching, not from like testing. So I open myself up to the possibility of being wrong. But phase rush and just sorcery in general seems very, very strong on Hecarim. Very, very strong. Very nice from Caps. I think it's obvious that Caps is so much better than everyone that is in this game. Yeah, this game should be completely over. How much do you value eye test versus testing? I think you need to do every part of the test. It's just replay after replay of someone getting grabbed or Azir ulted. Now everything lines up for the next dragon. False Drake. Can they reach 3 core? Probably not. 3.5, maybe by stopwatches and then GG. Just by stopwatches and you commit all the way onto the next ocean. And it's easy. Yeah, sure, Caps made some mistakes in the last game, but we are currently watching this game. So very, very early well, this time it worked. Holy shit. This time it worked, guys. It's not a small deal as well. How do they know? How do they know this? How do they know? Look at this. Look at Selfmade. They just fucking go. How do they know? How do they know? Look at that, they just snap. Like, yeah, I know Blue Ward, but look at the time they use Blue Ward. They use Blue Ward now. Yeah. I get that they use Blue Ward. I guess they just predicted it. Like, it's gold, but it's not so impactful. Like, if Orianna reaches 2 core, the fight is fair game. The fight is fair game. Even when we have the gold advantage, the fight is completely fair game. Because now, even though we have a gold advantage, everything comes down to this Drake and where the gold is placed, and Perks is dying again. Is this Perks or double lift? Jesus. Like, it's not a big deal, right? He just expects him not to be there because this team is taking Nexus. But yeah. What the fuck is happening? Jesus. Now, this is very good for Fnatic. So good for Fnatic. The Sakura is so fucking rich now. Jesus. Look at the gold. Look at how fast the gold changes, okay? 4k gold lead. 4k gold lead, about less than 4k. 3.4k. And then here we go. I got trying to end it so fucking optimistic. Jesus. Yeah. I think it's a fine timer to take inhib though. I think as second item is not bad to finish Thunderhold Conhacker. Wow. And like that, the game is even. And now lining up to the next Drake fight. Do they get this? I can't remember. I can't remember if they actually get this. Yeah, they do get this. Selfmade is so fucking fed, man. Look at this Hecarim. Oh shit. Look what he did to Senna, man. Look what he did to Senna. Wow. Hell. And now game is lost. Now game is actually lost. So it all just ended with this stupidity here. I think Selfmade didn't buy though, he did. He bought Mercury and this. Oh, actually he didn't buy. He has gold, you're right. I thought he bought Mercury and the shield. Boom! Bye bye perks. So this is why sometimes some Senna players go Black Cleaver, just for the sake of the HP. Just for the sake of the HP. Obviously it wouldn't save him here, but it wouldn't save him here because the fight was already fucking lost in the first place. Aged Knives is also fine. Aged Knives is not bad, but you missed 20% CDR, right? Oh, I don't think, guys, like people always try to present LS's opinions like black and white, and that's so far from the truth. I know people do it about my opinions too, and it's infuriating. People that consider themselves fans or haters of LS, but it's not black and white. It's not black and white, and I know for a fact that LS doesn't view things black and white either. It's not like he's sitting there and celebrating, oh, look, Team Liquid 3, Leandres! You know, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. I'm sure he looked at those. I'm sure he looks at those. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if he looked at that Team Liquid game and said, wow, this is a mistake. There's too many Leandres here. You know? I'm sure. It's not black and white. So I'm sure it bothers him, and I'm sure and for me it bothers me too when it's, you know, we just misconstrue opinions because we don't view things black and white. He did say check Twitter. He did say it's a mistake. There you go. Right? So it's not black and white. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's also like Ellis is in a very tough spot because he needs to find balance between analysis and also entertainment. And also on top of that fact, the man is fucking constantly busy. Like he's fucking watching ADC, LCS, LPL, and he's talking over it. Like it's so fucking, it's rough, you know. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. And the freezing thing as well, I'm certain that Alice doesn't view it black and white, right? It doesn't view it black and white. Some situations good to freeze, some situations bad to freeze. This is how I view it. And I'm sure he views it the same way. And then you have people in chat, bro, why are they not freezing? In any game. It's not black and white, you know? There's reasoning, you know? Like, for example, enemy top laner is a Fiora. If I freeze against Fiora, she can't break it because we have mid prior. She tries to roam into mid. What the fuck does a Fiora do in mid? I'm an Orianna, enemy is 5-man mid, we are 3 people in mid, my top laner has TP, they can't dive us. Freezing is beautiful. There's no Drake, there's no Rift Herald. That is fantastic, right? Great opportunity to freeze. There should be a white cleaver? Oh, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, so back to the game. Now, the whole game shifted. The whole game shifted colors. Because the timing of everything was just so perfect. The disaster happened right before Drake. So it transitioned from taking Baron into taking Drake. And now we're going to be in this constant rhythm where Drake and Baron are not going to spawn at the same time. So G2 is not going to have any type of pressure. They're not going to be in that position where Fnatic needs to make a choice, because now the rhythm is perfect between the Baron and the Drake. And now Hecarim is so fed, like Hecarim, Orianna, Ornn, they are 1v9ing. You just watch the Ornn upgrade fly into his pockets. Maybe go Deathcap first and then after Trinity, but the condition of this team is just too crazy. Look at this Hecarim go. Maybe a bit too wild, a bit too much. You need maybe 3 Death Dance to survive that shit, man. They didn't need to do this. They really didn't need to do this. But it's important to choose the times where you int. And this was a fine time to int. This was okay timing to int. Polski Hecarim. Polska huszarnia. Hecarim też. I felt like Genji versus DRX was higher level than this. Actually, what I was saying earlier was so wrong. Holy. My bad, guys, my bad. Forgive me. I was spreading lies. So this is good situation for G2. This is good situation for G2. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me. So our situation is widely different when it comes down to mid prio and mid situation. A tricky part as well, G2 don't have like the most craziest Nash speed. I know they have Azir, but Senna is kind of meh when it comes to Nash. But now 3 core on everyone, upgrades are flying left and right from Bwipo. Fight-wise, G2 have absolutely no chance. Yamato is a journalist now. What do you think of Liandry's on GP? I think it's good in cases where your ultimate already has guaranteed value against the enemy champions. So for example, a Jhin. In the case of a Jhin, it's good, but at the same time, if Thresh Lantern saves that Jhin out of that ultimate, you've given yourself, you know, you've put a lot of power into a spell that is already incredibly powerful. So this, for example, in this game, there are arguments for Liandry's because there's a Jhin Orianna. Liandry's is very good against these champions, right? It also works with barrels, but I think AD gives you a little bit more than the Liandry's of barrels. %10% mana is passive, sure. Like Liandry, like keep in mind we're comparing it to other items, right? We're comparing it to other items. We can list 300 HP. Ooh. We can list the things, but the thing is, Liandry's puts a lot of power into your GP ultimate, right? That's the main purpose. In this game, if you look at the composition, you know, for example, Thresh and Thresh can save Jhin, but there's still an Orianna. I think this game is a reasonable, very reasonable Liandry's game. The second reason why I think it's reasonable is because I think Death's Dance second item is good. I think Death's Dance versus enemy team is good. Because right now, Hecarim one-shots GP. Like Hecarim just fucking one-shots GP if he wants to. I think Death's Dance feels good. I think Death's Dance, Liandry, is pretty neat. I think Death's Dance second is underrated on GP. I like. I'm trying to remember. I played some Gangplank. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. I tried some things with Gangplank. I'm trying to remember what I tried. I just went Yumus. Well, honestly, in Korean solo queue, I just went Yumus because every game is lost so fucking fast. So this is a bit different. So I was going Yumus, Trinity, Yumus, DD. With no Liandry. Yeah. So here I was going Trinity, Yumu, DD. What attack keybinder do you use for attack move on ADC? I hold shift and then I also use A-click. I like Yumu. I really like Yumu. I think crit is so clunky, you know, it's so clunky to get there, it feels bad. Yeah, I love Yumus on GP. Yumus feels fucking good. And the build path is so easy too. Just fucking boom, 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 long swords. I'm with Whip on this. I couldn't remember my opinion on it, but yeah, here you can see I'm on the Yumus Ghostblade hype train. I don't know what was happening over here, but yeah, I think anything RNG I don't like, so I think removal of crit is completely reasonable. Okay, let's take a look at this again. How to take this game serious when it's so lost? Well, we had the situation where both Baron and Drake were spawning. It seems like this point that I made about them spawning at the same time is completely irrelevant. Like the best way G2 can maneuver around this is that they don't contest mid ever. They just never walk on mid. Because Cap's hard into here. And both objectives are secured. Yeah, Hecarim is incredibly OP. As this build on GP, I don't like it. I don't know. I just think hard game to play GP, honestly. I think Ornn is really good against GP. You buy Solari and GP ult is countered. Bwipo smart. Bwipo had a decent series, honestly. Do you think Perks likes playing Senna? I think he feels like he has to. But I think he should be playing Ashe. Is Ornn going Redemption? I think Thresh should be going Redemption. No, Sunfire upgrade is too OP. Yeah, game is just lost. Can't play Kai'Sa. She's too short range. Thoughts on Mercurial Jhin instead of Static? I don't need Mercurial. What is Mercurial good for here? Yo, Yamato, what do you think about building Sunfire on tanks jungler for Ornn to upgrade? I remember Ender was experimenting with this. I think finishing Cinderhulk in a lot of cases first is very troll, because the item is not effective on its own. That's why, like for example, in Olaf, it's better to go Phage into Cinderhulk. Getting Sunfire is definitely not bad for jungle, I think. Right now we are in JDG meta. Boom. Thoughts on Zaya and the meta? I think too short range. Good when there's a lot of bans. Maybe playable against Senna, maybe. What do you think of Jhin as a whole? It always feels like it does so little. I disagree. I think Jhin is a good champ. Very good champ.